Hello everyone! Welcome. It's the day after Sausage Fest. It's the 13th of the 10th, 2025, Monday night. Welcome back everyone. Hope you've had a good weekend. Excuse the poor quality on the on that there webcam. I've lent my DJI action camera to PWSAS in Evesham because they're supposed to be starting work on my new frame, my new build for my pressure washer, my double pressure washer stack. I'll show you the plans. See if I can pull up Blender and show you the plans. And so they borrowed my camera so they can do some time lapses and stuff. And I realised today that's the camera I use for streaming, isn't it? Donut, what a dinky donut. Welcome Jed Millhouse, welcome. I am well, thank you very much. Revive and refresh. Sausage Fest was great. It was really good turnout. It was chilled, wasn't any pressure or stress. It was like just really nice. I got to talk to everyone pretty much, I think. Good food, good coffee, good company. It was brilliant. Really good. Got to actually talk to people. Sheffield pressure washing, nice to meet you too. I can't. Can I put a face to a name? I don't know if I can. What was your name? What was your name? Hanging after Sausage Fest. I didn't drink anything, but I think the guys might have gone out for some food afterwards. Gleamguard, welcome. Monkey, how you doing? Is it Blair Witch tonight? Yeah, it looks a little bit like that, doesn't it? Daz, where were you? Sausage, Rich, welcome. Daz, I thought you were coming. Sid did get to Sausage Fest, but Darren told him the wrong time, apparently. Darren told him that it was going till 4 o'clock, when actually it was going till 2 o'clock. So this is the build. This is what we're going for, although I think this is now going to be over here. It's probably going to be low pressure reel on the bottom, high pressure reel on the top. And these are kind of going to be mounted to like a plate, like a part of the frame that's going to be like, there's going to be like an L-shaped frame here. So it's going to kind of go, can I duplicate that? Stick it there. I think it's going to be like that. I'm buggering this up. There's going to be like a frame there, and then this is going to be like that, kind of like that, but that's going to go all the way up. You know what I'm saying? I think that's going to be good, and I think if I do want a boiler at a later date, there's probably room on top of this tank. I think the boys are on about potentially doing one big fuel tank instead of 2 fuel tanks here. So I might just have one big 40-litre fuel tank instead of 2 20s. At the moment, Jakey's got a 7-litre tank on his, which is why it runs out so quickly. And then also, I then have the flexibility of installing some filters on the side of this pressure washer tank and a pump. So if I want to pull some pure water through some filters, although we didn't have much success with it at the dream car job that I've just posted on YouTube, but I'll have the versatility to be able to still fill up the fill up the tank from the customer's tap, but then get some like filtered water out of it if we do end up doing some window cleaning work. So this is going to be on the side door, so I'll still be able to walk into the van. There'll still be enough room for me to walk past. The only thing that Ollie thought might be an issue, so I've basically designed this. This is how I've sort of said I wanted it, and he said the only issue you might have, I think it might have been Charlie actually that mentioned it, is you're going to have to like get in the van to reel the hoses up, potentially, unless I'm sort of on my hands and knees. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be that much of an issue. It's going to be right by the front door, so I think it'd be fine. What do you guys reckon? What do you think? Evening, Mark. Welcome. Oh, you had to work. Oh, Daz. Sean, good to meet you too. How are you feeling, Sean? Are you feeling a bit better now? Waiting for something to jump out behind you. It's a spooky cam. Yeah, it does look a little bit weird, doesn't it? James, are you tall? Are you the tall chap? I think you had a... Did you have a bomber jacket on? Like a... Not a bomber. Yeah, it's like a bomber. Like a body warmer. Craig? How you doing, mate? I owe Craig an apology. I owe Craig a huge apology. Gilet, thank you. Yes. I have purchased... I've purchased a Turbo Devil. I got it from Sausage Fest. One of these little baddies. TD300. Immediately took the wheels off of it. And we had a little play with it. And it was absolutely fantastic. So... I know that I've needed one of these for so long for like roof cleans and stuff, but I thought I don't really do enough roof cleans to justify getting one. It's like 300 odd quid and it's a lot of money. And to be honest, I've heard they're not very reliable and the bearings go and the bars bend, and I think from what people have told me, people don't tend to look after them very well, and they're trying to use them on all different types of tiles and stuff, and they're bashing the bars off the wavy tiles, and the ones that get looked after generally last a decent while. And Darren said he's got like an upgrade kit for it if it does ever fail. Some nice like ceramic bearings or something. I can't remember what he said, but something like that. And we had a little play. I wonder if I've got the video. I'll put it in the Discord. We had a little play on just a little bit of block paving that was outside Sausage Fest. And you know what? I think I was only running around about between 120 and 140 bar. And this little surface cleaner, so it had little 25 degree nozzles on it. And it was 0.25s, I believe. 25 degree nozzle, like that. And then the hole in each one of the orifice, each one of the jets was 0.25. And so I've down-specced it for my machine because I'm thinking I could be running 0.9 on my machine because it's like 30 litres per minute, but I don't want to put that much water on the roof. So I've specced it down so I can run like still high pressure, but I can put less water on the roof basically. I don't want to flood the roof, especially with, you know, if we're both cleaning a roof, or I'm cleaning a roof and like Rich or Jakey is cleaning the driveway, we're splitting the water. I don't need to use all that water on the roof. And so using this little surface cleaner on the block paving, I couldn't believe how effective it was. Look at this. There's Mitch. That was proper mossy before, that was. Proper mossy and weedy.
That's not bad, that. What do you reckon? That's only about 120 bar.
I think it was a bit more. About 130, 140, I think. And it's done a brilliant job. It's cleared all the moss and it's cleared all the weeds, and I had I could have turned it way up to 200 bar and it would have done an even better job. And so I've looked at that now and I'm thinking, if I had a little 18-inch surface cleaner and I had 15-degree jets on it and I spec'd it down so that I'm running at higher pressure, lower flow, and it's nice and small, I reckon you could get decent results on block paving. It was all in the operation. Yeah, maybe it was the operator, the very good-looking operator. May I add? You're a good-looking chap, you are. Good fashion sense as well. And so it sort of opened my mind to what Craig was talking about. Using flat surface cleaners on block paving, I can see the potential when you spec your surface cleaner properly. Because my only exposure to it is a 21-inch double bar, and I think that was too big. And I've had an 18-inch triple bar, and that's splitting the pressure and the flow between 3 nozzles, and I don't think that helped at all. And so what I'd like to do is put a double bar on my 18-inch, but I don't know if that's doable. Maybe I'll see if Darren's got a bar that will accept my 18-inch. But my mind's been a bit blown by it. What's the costing behind the new build? Obviously, if it's case sensitive, no need, but I'm guessing it's not cheap. I don't know if I can say too much, so I'm going to not say anything just yet, and I'll let you know in a couple of weeks' time when it's done, if I'm allowed to reveal the pricing. Anyone else got Halloween decorations up? We've got a pumpkin candle. That's all we've got. Where do the exhausts run on your double decker? I like that. We should call it the double decker. That's pretty cool. I think one of them's going to come out the front. They might both come out the front, or they might both go through the floor, depending on where the fuel tank in my van is. Because I think it's a bit iffy. It's a bit hit and miss whether whether it's going to be too close to the fuel tank. It's definitely quite close to the filler cap. So hit that like button, folks. Exactly. Thank you, Millhouse. I hope all is good outside at the moment, fixing the other half's car, and it's raining. It shouldn't be raining at the minute. I woke up this morning. This week is supposed to be dry all week. -5% chance of rain, so no chance of rain. And this morning I woke up and it was foggy and misty, and the mist had settled on the ground. I'd planned on doing 3 resanding jobs today, plus a hard setting sand installation, and it's too wet. Woke up and it was too wet, so it's like properly shafted us. And bearing in mind, Rich is now having to drive across from Warsaw every day to come and work with me, and sometimes before I'm even awake, don't tell him, but sometimes before I'm even awake, he's already on the road, on his way to me. And so this morning was the case where he rings me and I look out the window and I'm like, bloody hell, we've only got the one pressure washing job on this morning. The rest of the day it was going to be sanding. I don't know if there's any point in you coming over. we managed to get another biocide job in today. So we did this one. So this was a maintenance job on the same road. The guy contacted me on Friday and I didn't check my messages, but this is the same road as the decking we cleaned this morning. And he said, can you do like a maintenance visit? And so when we painted this drive, so this looks like it's all worn off, but it hasn't. This is all acorns that have been crushed by the tires of the car. So he wanted us to, when I sealed the drive, I said, like, we can keep on top of this now that it's sealed. Let me know when it starts to go green again and we'll come and do a maintenance visit. So the job was to leaf blow everything and apply some biocide to get rid of all that green. There were a few weeds in the corners. Obviously we don't apply weed killer. There's just a bit of green, just a bit of algae, but I think it benefited from a good leaf blow and a sweep. And then we went through... Oh, that's the wrong video, damn it. Went through and applied some green clear from Smart Seal. Just through the X-Jet. Around about 1 to 10. And that should keep it looking good for a while now. But that was lucky that we got that one. I charged 95 quid for this. I'd like some feedback on that pricing if that's okay. So it goes down under that carport a little bit. So to sweep up everything, give it a leaf blow, sweep it up and apply the biocide, 95 quid. I think we were there probably half an hour, I'd say, maybe less. I probably used around about maybe 4 or 5 litres of biocide. Maybe a bit more. Maybe less, actually. 1 to 10. Can't remember. Let me know what you think of that price, because I'm curious. I don't do a lot of these maintenance visits, and so I'm just curious as to whether I'm around about right for that. Make sure you fit a drip tray under the reels. No more wet van. That is a great idea. I should mention that to them, shouldn't I? Like a drip tray that falls forward and sort of tips out the side of the van, maybe. Where does the water go when it drips? Or is it removable so you can just pull the tray out, empty it and put it back in? What would you do there, Darren? Still in bed, just now something going on. Oh. I've realised, Sean, now that you speak with a heavy Scottish accent, so I've got to read your messages in a Scottish accent and then they make sense. Room to manoeuvre behind everything if you need to nip and tighten things. It's a good question. I'm sure there will be. I'm giving them creative freedom. To be fair, I have been quite specific in what I'd like, but I've said I'd like 2 fill valves on the 650 litre tank, just in case we need to plug in like a second water supply. I think 2 fill valves is a good idea. I'd like some like nozzle holders on the front. I'd like needle valves and pressure gauges on the front so I can adjust it stood in front of the machines. Spencer says, I just watched your latest video, the car place. You said you weren't happy with the window clean as you did it and it was spotty. What was the water reading coming out of the cartridge? Good question. I didn't measure it. Because we've been using this this resin tank for a while, I've had really, really good results with it everywhere I've been, but I've realised we've only really used it in and around Redditch. and this was more sort of Worcester way, and so I didn't expect there to be such a variation in sort of water hardness, I guess, and so it was leaving spots everywhere. And I think it's a combination. I looked it up online, and it is a very hard water area, so it's a combination of hard water, and also I think it's probably about time I replace the resin in my tank. But I was thinking that, and then I thought, well, feeding it through Rich's tank and through my tank, like a double resin tank, I shouldn't be having issues here, but we still did. So I'm going to order some more resin from CleanLink and refill that, and because we've got a school windows to clean next week, so I'm a bit I need to get it sorted, really. Cedars says, evening all, Darren just ordered my twin arm 15 nozzles. Also remember mine is 250 bar. Hopefully it's awesome. Darren has just ordered my twin arm and 15 degree nozzles. I wonder, because I've got my flat surface cleaner, my old one is like an equipped to clean one, and I'm just wondering if the thread is like, if I can remove the arm and put a new arm in, because that would I'd love to use that. There were talks of how Prestige gets his block results with a flat surface cleaner. He specs down to, he's running a 16-inch whirl away with a twin behind it. Probably narrow jets too, shifts the weeds and blocks, no issues. Can't believe Cedars missed Sausage Fest for his daughter's birthday. I know. Where's your commitment, Cedars? Drizzle on and off today, drizzling now. Yeah, it's very frustrating. I'm supposed to be doing a lot of resanding this week, and it's gonna mess me up. Did you rinse it off? The biocide? No, that gets left on to absorb. Is it green clear back? Is green clear back 50? Good question. I can't remember. I can't remember if it's back 50 or DDAC. Do. They're bringing out some. Actually, maybe I shouldn't say too much. It's this one. Cool that it says that there. Look, kills unwanted green growth, not weeds. Good to know. Do. I might have to download the data sheet and stuff, which I can't be bothered to do right now. Maybe someone else can tell me. Jake, 95 quid is cheap when you have to take everything into account: van, diesel, mileage, chemical, your time, etc. I think that's more than fair. I don't know, the fact that we were in and out in half an hour, and we didn't use a huge amount of product. I don't think 95 quid's bad personally, but I'm sure if I'd have said like 120 quid, the customer would have still gone for it. Like, it wasn't a difficult job. In fact, I quite enjoyed it. You know those jobs that have got like, I had a full tank of water. I didn't need any water. Super easy access. Literally just step out the van and you can just do it. Rich had his leaf blower, so it was better than my silly little battery one. I'm giving up on the battery leaf blower. It's too much of a pain in the arse. I'm gonna buy another petrol leaf blower. Screwfix aren't selling any decent ones at the moment. So does anyone have any recommendations that I can look at now for like a good petrol leaf blower that they've used that they really like, please. I know I could spend 300-400 quid on one of them still ones. I'm just looking for other options at the minute. I don't want a backpack one. I want just a small handheld one that's ideally as powerful as possible. My Titan one was really good. My little Titan petrol one from Screwfix was really good, but it kept breaking. When I say it kept breaking, there's a chance it was because it kept flying about in the back of the van and tipping upside down, and there's a chance it was my fault. A slight chance. I drilled a hole in the lower step area and fitted a boat drain thingy so any water could run out. What's a boat drain? What on earth is a boat drain? Oh, one of these. Ah. That's a cool idea. You're very creative. Liam, where have you been, mate? We were literally talking about you at Sausage Fest, saying Liam's disappeared off the face of the earth. Is he still going? Is he still in business? We've all missed you, mate. Where have you been? How are you getting on? Are you busy? Steve, welcome. Evening, got a jet wash tomorrow, large at artificial grass area, but I'll just use a small nozzle just in case. Great show, still, Steve from Milton Keynes. Thanks, Steve. Consider using a light turbo. So instead of using like a small nozzle, I'm assuming you mean like a fan jet, I would suggest a really good way of shifting stuff from artificial grass is turn your pressure and your revs down a little bit. Maybe, 150 bar or less. And just move your nozzle back a little bit so you're not cleaning the artificial grass as close as you would clean block pavers, for example. Just move your nozzle up slightly and see what you think. Careful around the edges, because if that turbo nozzle gets underneath one of the edges and it flaps up, you'll end up digging all the sand or the lime. Is it lime dust? Lime. Depends how it's been laid, I suppose. Sometimes the edges are glued to like concrete. Sometimes they're nailed in. It would be good to know how the grass has been installed before you start cleaning it. But some people, I know Curbside Ryan, he uses one of them petrol brooms that you walk along and it's like. I don't know if that necessarily cleans it or just clears the debris off of it. But it might be a good idea to just give it a turbo nozzle a little whirl and see what you think. What you don't want to do is inject water underneath the artificial grass, because then you could disturb the sub base and potentially leave dips and holes where you sort of washed sand away, depending on how it's been installed. It's usually installed on top of like sand and like lime dust, like grano dust. How are you finding business now as the summer is quite clearly over? Inquiries have definitely dipped, but I'm in a fortunate position where I'm sort of happy about that, because it means I can chill a little bit now. I've had like 4 inquiries since Friday, which, that I think one of them's pattern imprinted concrete, one of them's a limestone restoration job, which I won't do this time of year now. I can't remember what the other 2 were, but I'm like, we've got some big jobs coming up. It would be nice to start booking up November. What are we in now? October. Would be nice to start booking up November, but I'm not too worried. We should do a poll. We should do our weekly poll, so that we get an idea of who's busy, who's got work on. because I think it's an idea of who. Shush. I think it's always good to know, because some people say they're busy, some people say they're really struggling for work, and I have a skewed perspective because I do YouTube and social media and stuff, and people think, oh, it's all right for you. You YouTubers have always got work, and it's not the case. Do you have plenty of work on? I think we'll probably find that a lot of people are fairly quiet now. But we're moving into wet season. We're moving into gutter clearing, fascia soffits, roof cleaning, conservatories. You shouldn't, just because it's gone quiet, it doesn't mean that you should accept defeat. It's about becoming a little bit more versatile and offering maybe services that you didn't offer this summer. Start thinking about Christmas light installation, maybe. That's a good one to keep the cash rolling in. My plan is just to have 3 arms in the van, 40 degree, 25 degree and 15 degree, just swap the arms when needed. Do you think swapping the arms is easier than swapping nozzles? Because I saw Specky do the same thing. He did a video, he said like, rather than removing the nozzles, it's quicker and easier just to swap the arms over. Anyone seen anything by that nice chap Paul? Does the videos, he gets some amazing jobs, gorgeous properties. Not sure who you're talking about, Millhouse, sorry. Is it easy to swap the arms? They can be a little bit stiff, and it can be difficult to get some purchase on them because you need to get your adjustable in the right place, and then sort of I worry about sort of bending them or doing them up too tight and wrecking the thread in the surface cleaner. But you think I should get a still? Parker brand leaf blower, about 70 quid, you reckon? Husqvarna. I see Flawless using Crest battery tools, and I understand he's sponsored by them, but he says they're great. I'm not going battery. I'm not doing battery anymore. What's the Parker brand one? I want one that I can go and pick up in store locally, ideally, and then return if I have problems. To be fair, look at these ones. They are they're orange as well, and you know I'm a sucker for anything orange. 26cc leaf blower, 28cc leaf blower and vacuum, 28cc leaf blower. These ones are backpacks. 28cc petrol leaf blower. Let's have a look at this baddie. Strong, reliable 2-stroke, large and powerful engine. It looks cool. You can't argue with that. It does look cool. Looks simple, basic. Comes with a shaky mixie bottle. 50% off. Same day dispatch. Hassle-free returns. I mean, Sheffield Pressure Washing says I've used mine for years now. Why can't I scroll down? How much airflow are we pushing? 190 miles per hour. That's quite good, isn't it? A CFM of 430, is that good? This one doesn't say anything about commercial use, like industrial use or whatever. Have we got any reviews on this? No. No reviews. Any other suggestions? Still handheld leaf blower is a belter. How much are we talking? Because this is 66 quid compared to... Is there any specific one I should be looking at? Apparently, none of these big manufacturers now are making petrol leaf blowers going forward. A guy in a... I don't know how reliable this information is, but he said they won't be making any more electric leaf blowers. They won't be making any more petrol leaf blowers. They'll all be battery powered or electric. Like plug-in. So this one's 314 quid. You know what I'm saying? Like... Tell me how much airflow it pushes. How fast is the air coming out at the end of it? Because that's the measure of how powerful it is, isn't it? How many miles an hour can I blow? Max air velocity around the nozzle, meters per second. I don't think that's a measure of anything. Give me some decent information. It doesn't say. That's a lot more money. Yes, it's orange, so it could be worth it. See, I don't know. How many of us are busy? %, 57% of us do not have plenty of work on, whereas 43% do have plenty of work on. I think we're almost at an equilibrium where a lot of us are doing okay. These percentages earlier in the summer were a lot more sporadic, and a lot more people were complaining that they had no work. 23 votes, 43% of people have plenty of work on. I think it's worth doing that. I think it's insightful. Just buy a second-hand still. I won't be buying a second-hand anything, to be honest. I don't really do second-hand kit. I'd like to have a warranty with it. I like to have peace of mind that I'm buying something new. Anyone else feel me on that? Does anyone else not buy used stuff? I'm here, mate, Liam says. Been changing things around and trying to put myself in the best position to get a mortgage and grow the business still. Mainly doing commercial and growing window cleaning at the moment. Nice. I saw you were starting, or you were growing window cleaning. I saw your last YouTube video. Late on tonight, good to see you at the one and only Sausage Fest. Always costs me a fortune when I go to PWS, and the cabinet collapse wasn't my fault, honest. Simon, was that you? I saw that. I've got a video of that. They were, I think they were just trying to get me out of the way. I was like, oh. And they were just like, can you get out of the way, please?
What have you done? Oh no.
Yeah, the cabin goes into.
Was that actually you, Simon?
Is it square?
Oh dear.
What have you done? Oh no.
They're like, shut up, go away. Yeah, it does cost a fortune going to PWS, doesn't it? There's just so many goodies. Had an influx of pattern imprinted concrete lately. Why can't these have been in June? I know there's. I mean, are you going to be doing any more sealing this year? Because I'm not. I've got a one tarmac sealing job to do because it's water based. Like, I'm quite happy doing that one when we get a dry day. But other than that, I'm not doing any more. I was supposed to do a Block Magic job like last week or the week before, but I told the lady, like, it's not a good idea. You're going to be waiting ages, and it's going to stress me out. So I said, can we leave it till next year? Happy to clean it for you, but I don't want to paint it until next year. Shiny new toy syndrome. Revive and refresh. Question. Don't do windows, but doing a patio and front of house. He's asked to do windows. Can you throw it in and get okay results with a bit of TFR and normal tap water? I would say yes. I've done it in the past. So in my experience, if you have a little... There's a video on my channel. It's a bit of a ways back now, but if you have a look at... Oh, it was a while back, wasn't it? This one here. Cleaning windows without pure water. A year ago. The thumbnail says tap water. You'll see how we've done it there. We've essentially done 1 to 7 with my Drive Tech TFR. It leaves the glass kind of hydrophilic. 1 to 7 in the gardener backpack, brush it on the windows, and then literally just rinse it off with tap water, and you get a perfect streak-free finish. So I think as a one-off, if you're not carrying pure water around with you, I think it's a really good idea. Some people say on hot days they've had issues with the TFR drying on the glass and it's left it streaky, but you're not going to have that issue now going forward because it's not going to be hot enough, I don't think. So not all TFRs will do this, but I know for a fact that Drive Tech one that I use from GSF Car Parts is it does work. You can't get it online unless you go on eBay, but they all have it in store. It's like a big 20 odd litre barrel, and I think it's about 27 quid or something, 26 quid. You could return your hamster to Screwfix and they'll replace it, no questions asked. Exactly, that's why I like shopping at Screwfix. I got two new leaf blowers out of them after my Titan one broke twice. And they just swapped it both times without me. I didn't even have a receipt, they just found it on the system. It was great. Wayne says, I use TFR on glass, rinse well, no issues, as long as you're not going nuts with the TFR. There you go. Return if you don't put two-stroke in and they blow it up. That's another thing. If you if you don't put your oil in, your two-stroke oil in your fuel, it could affect the running of the leaf blower. I've got experience. Trust me. Don't do it. Try finding parts for it online. For the Parker brand one, you mean? For this one? Have they not got parts on here, no? Let me see. Spare parts. Okay. I mean, I wouldn't go through the effort of trying to find parts for the leaf blower, to be honest. I'd just send it back and try and get a new one, because I don't want to be fixing stuff myself. Especially not on a 60 quid item, you know what I mean? BG56. Still BG56. Oh, that's the one I just looked at, isn't it? Yeah, that's the one I looked at. Does it tell me the flow? I don't think it does. Air velocity. It does it in meters per second. We want it in miles per hour. What is 64 meters per second in miles per hour?
Conversion factors, meters underscore per underscore mile equals 1609.34. 4 seconds underscore per underscore hour equals 3600. Speed in meter per second. Speed underscore m underscore s equals 64. Conversion formula. Speed underscore mph equals speed underscore m underscore s asterisk seconds underscore per underscore hour slash meter.
Does anyone else's Gemini on their Google phones do this? I ask it a very simple question to do a conversion, and it shows me how to do the conversion. I'm not interested on how to do it. I just want the conversion. 143 miles per hour. Okay, so that is that is a lot more powerful than that other one. $190 miles per hour. Oh, no, it's not. This one's more. Well, this one blows air faster. Or is it the max? What is 171 meters per second in miles per hour?
Conversion factors, meters underscore per underscore mile equals 1600.
382 miles per hour. That's the max. Whatever that means. No idea. Jay, do a poll to see how many people are in their first year. Do you think that would be useful? Okay. Okay. How many people have been going for less than 12 months? Why doesn't my chat load? Get on with it. Hit the like button. Have you been in business for less than 12 months? There you go. Get one of the Crest ones Flawless Cleaning has. Didn't someone say Crest is all the battery powered? I don't want a battery powered one. Oh, it's K, not C. These do look nutty. They look like they're quite futuristic. But they're battery powered. No way, brother. Absolutely not. The biggest competition is Jack the Lad doing jobs for next to nothing with no overheads. Disagree, Wayne. Those people are not your competition. Not heard many grumbles from anyone with a still leaf blower. Same applies. Buy cheap, buy twice. Screwfix sell still now, do they? I think they sell the battery ones, don't they? Cordless, brushless, cordless. They're all battery ones. Yep. Gosh darn it. If you're looking for leaf blowers, CFM is the rating you want to look at. Is it? Pubic feet per meter, basically the measurement of area coverage. Miles per hour is how powerful the flow is. Oh, okay, so this is like pressure washer talk. It's like pressure versus flow in pressure washers. $23 votes, 70%, sorry, 30% of people are still in their first year. 30% of people in the chat out of 23 votes are still in their first year. Good to know. The BG86 is really, really good. Really, really. That's double really. That's a double really good. So that's not the one I just looked at. This is even more expensive. 400 quid for a leaf blower. Do we really need to be paying 400 quid for a leaf blower? I'm sure it's really, really good. But do I need it? You know what I mean? I'm only going to be using it like a couple of times a week. Maybe for a gardener that's using it every day, but do I need it? Matt, have a look at these specs here, mate. 27 cubic meters. Cubic centimeters? No idea. Is that good? Jake, maybe reach out and see what Flawless thinks of the leaf blower, etc. He seems to get on great with that stuff. Well abused too. Yeah, I mean, asking anyone that's sponsored by a brand how good that brand is, I think you're always going to get a slightly biased answer. Wait a month for Black Friday and see if they drop. That's a very good idea. Black Friday deals. Bubic sounds better. The Crest stuff uses the same battery across all units. Yeah, you could say that about any like drill brand, circular saws, leaf blowers. Like they all plug into the same stuff. You just got to find a brand that you like, I suppose. No worries, Gleamguard. TFM do them much cheaper than 400 quid. I've got to go to TFM, the farm shop, to get some more hypo, actually. Use a twin battery Einhol blower with 4 batteries so I can swap. It's wicked. Yeah, I mean, how much did that cost? That sounds 4 batteries. The batteries are like 60 quid each, aren't they? More than that, maybe. Equipped to clean. Should we have a look? Leaf blower. I doubt it. It's not ready. No, they don't. They do not. On the sponsors part, yes, I can see where you're coming from, but then you have sponsor too as such. Yeah, and I'm biased. But at the same time, I buy stuff, even though I'm sponsored. Say, for example, let's take Smart Seal. Even though I'm sponsored by Smart Seal, I use a lot of Smart Seal products, but I'll still buy stuff from Pure Seal because the stuff that I like Synergy that I was using the other day, some of their biocides, their surfactant. I used some Max Clean Pro today. Like, I've got no issues using other brands and showing that I'm using other brands as well. I just did Sausage Fest with Darren from PWS, and PWS AS over in Evesham are going to be building my new frame, and I shop with them all the time. I buy stuff. I've got my hose from AC Pressure Washers. I've got my switch tip from Rutland Pumps. I buy stuff from all over the place, and Gutter Vacuum Systems, CleanLink. Just because I'm sponsored by certain people, I reached out to them to say, like, I'm a fan of your stuff. I'm taking on sponsorships. Would you like to be a part of this? And they've said yes. And that I think they're all in the understanding that I still shop where I like to shop. And yeah, I think it's good not to. That I've seen a lot of like weird brand loyalty in the industry where people will say they'll recommend a product and say like, this is the best, this is the only one. And I just don't understand that mindset, because people almost, it's like being at school. They find something they like, and then everything else is crap, and you should only use this product because I like it. And it's not really the way that the world works, I don't think. So what I will say is you can trust me to be totally impartial. I do lean, I do have a slight bias towards my sponsors, because I'm not going to say anything bad about their products necessarily. I will try and be as honest as I can, though. I'm not going to, slander their businesses, because that wouldn't really make for a good relationship. But you can rely on me to be honest, I think. Jake is biased, everyone run. Why don't you go still combi blower so you can run a rotary brush when needed? A rotary brush? Still? Combi blower, combi brush. Huh? Why would you be able to run this from a leaf blower? I don't understand. What do you mean? Combi blower so you can run a brush. Can you like take the head off of the arm off of it and like run a brush and run like a weed, like a weed whacker thing? Can you just take the head off and swap the heads and use different things? Oh look, oh you can. That's pretty cool. But again, is it battery powered or is that a petrol one? Oh, it looks like a petrol one. I bet that's well expensive, isn't it? How much is that going to be then? Go on then, how much is that going to be? 319 quid just for the brush. That's just the brush, people. So the combi, cordless, petrol. That's the one we want. 339 quid for just the head. And then you've got to buy all the attachments for it. I'm good. I'm fine, thank you. Parker will be your equipped clean special, whereas the Stihl would be your PWS built machine. Both will do the job until one breaks. In this instance, it's cheap to replace a 70 quid leaf blower. But do you really want to buy twice regardless? I understand what you're saying. I do. I do. What microphone do you recommend for your videos? Going to try and do some videos for my social soon, get some different type of content. This is old. I mean, you could quite happily talk into your phone and get decent quality these days from most phone microphones, nice and crispy. I'd be careful about buying like a cheap lav mic, because quite often the quality of your phone microphone will be better than the lav mic, so you've got to be careful about that. Content for socials. I only bought this Audio Technica AT2020, I think it is. I only bought this because I planned on doing long form YouTube stuff. I wouldn't recommend one of these for social media because you don't need it. You're gonna have to go from your phone, move the footage to your PC, do all the voiceover and the editing, and then move it back to your phone to then upload it to all the different social platforms. And that's just too many roadblocks, too many barriers to have to jump over to get the content out. This reel that I put out today on Instagram and Facebook, it took me about 5 minutes to edit. You can probably tell. I'm not saying it's an amazing reel. I'm just saying we did this job today. It took me about 5 minutes to edit, and I uploaded it very quickly. And there was no barrier to overcome. I didn't have to get it onto the computer. Admittedly, this one's not voiced, but if I was to do a quick and dirty reel, I would just use editing software on my phone and just talk into my phone nice and close, so you get like nice crispy audio. I think audio quality is very important for long form YouTube stuff, podcasts and all that sort of stuff. I don't think audio quality is as important when it comes to short form TikToks, Instagram reels, Facebook, all that sort of stuff. I think you might, if you're looking at a microphone like this, I think you're overthinking it. I'd just go for something cheap. If it's not your phone, maybe like a little Bluetooth. I've got a little DJI lav mic that I can stick to my t-shirt, and it plugs into the bottom of my phone and uses Bluetooth. But even that's a pain. You've got to like go into your settings and make sure it's using the correct microphone and stuff. It's a bit of a pain. Make sure it's charged up and stuff. It's just another barrier, isn't it? You want the quickest, easiest, most replicable method to get the content out there as possible. You want as few barriers as possible, because the more things you've got to overcome when you're uploading content, the less likely you are to consistently upload content. You know what I mean? You can borrow my still when you're on my patch. I will provide the 2-stroke because I don't want it to be blown up. Thanks, Darren. When am I next in Worcester? I'm in Stratford next week. It's not really out your way, is it? Hilti power tools. Hilti. They're expensive, but do get the job done. Same as my setup, Jake. Split shaft unit that runs the brush and the blower. Are we still talking about the same thing? A split shaft unit that runs the brush and the blower. I think you're in the wrong chat, Matt. Jake, is that brown envelope in the mail yet? What are you talking about? Brown envelope. Is that brown envelope in the mail yet? Brown envelope. You've lost me there, mate. But are you going to fix why the rust is there? Yeah, I got a really shitty comment on that video, didn't I? On Facebook. I was quite took off guard from that. This is the classic Facebook, this is. Like, I've uploaded this video. And someone's commented, are you going to treat the reason for the rust? It's like, this thing's bolted into the deck, so no. But the other thing, this bit here was from like a metal hose reel that they've since replaced with a plastic one because they could see it was doing damage. And it's just like, that seems like a totally unnecessary comment. Like, I don't understand. And my thing is, like, I go through and I react and reply to the nice comments, and then when someone leaves a comment like that, I feel like just ignoring them, but then that wouldn't be sort of impartial and balanced. So I feel like I've got to go in and comment and reply to this guy. But I feel like I'm justifying my actions, and I feel like I'm having to bow down to this guy and explain the situation before anyone gets too angry. Because if I ignore it, it looks like I've just ignored it and avoided the subject. So you're in like a little bit of a catch-22, unless you've got thousands of comments on the video and you obviously can't reply to them all. So it's fine. I get lots of shitty comments, I do. What phone editor are you with, Jake, for quick and dirty reels? It's an app called InShot. I'm not saying it's the best. I think from what I've seen, CapCut seems to be really good. So this is just the one I use. It's called InShot. It's just the one I've used forever. I think CapCut is supposed to be really good though, so you might want to check that one out as well. Oh, the cash for saying that you trust me. Are you paid for as well? A friend of mine had a TikTok go semi-viral overnight, but the comments was just landscape and pressure washers arguing about how to apply Titan correctly. Yeah, classic internet. Yeah, if tradesmen, any trade have got, you can quite easily do very well on TikTok, because if you post any video of you doing work, someone else knows how to do it better than you. And they'll quite happily tell you in the comments that you're either doing it wrong or they can do it better. And they've been doing it for years. And more comments equals more engagement, and more engagement means the video gets pushed to more people, which increases the comments and engagement. And it's just like a cycle for virality. Make a new video screenshotting his comment and then show yourself moving the hose reels, then thumbs up. That's a good idea. He got a message from TikTok saying he's on a final warning as the comments were starting to get racist. No way. Had to remove the video. That's so pathetic, isn't it? Do you ever find it's the same ones leaving terrible comments on the videos? I had one guy, probably yes, but I had one guy commented on my long form YouTube stuff, and he was saying weird stuff like there's a good boy and don't do that again, I'm watching you, stuff like that, like really weird stuff, hiding behind this like anonymous profile. There's some weird people on the internet. It was like these very harmless videos of just me cleaning stuff. It's just people just have got nothing better to do. My burner account, Craig, is it you? Why don't we explore what the Crystal Boys have been up to? I'm not interested in giving them any more attention, to be honest. I love how he had to remove his own video because TikTok can't moderate the users on their platform. That's a good point. That's a very good point. I did this the other day. It was like a builder's rinse. I got in there was a property management company in Birmingham that got in touch with me and said, there's this house in Redditch, we've done some building and landscaping work, can you go in and clean the drive? And I've explained we offer 2 services on these builders rinses, and I thought it might be good to kind of explain it to everyone the way I price these. Not that it's a pricing structure, it's just more of like a what does the customer expect? So I explained to them, most of the time we go around after these landscapers and the builders, and we're just putting like I'm not explaining all this to the customer, but in short, we put a wide fan nozzle, very low pressure but very high flow, so it's just the black soap nozzle. It's putting a lot of water down on the surface, And what that'll do is remove all that surface dust and footprints and grime. It's not a deep clean, so I distinguish the two. Do you want a heavy rinse, or do you want a proper high pressure deep clean? Because one of them I'm going to be using the flat surface cleaner, and one of them I'm just going to be using the black soap nozzle to get the surface muck off. I'm not getting too close because I don't want to put any streaks in the drive. So I've said to the customer, or this property management company, a light rinse will return the driveway to how it was before the builders arrived, minus any kind of cement stains or, you know, mortar stains or render stains or whatever there might be. So any staining, you want like a proper deep clean. If it's just light surface dust and dirt, we can get that with a rinse. Deep clean is obviously more expensive. We're also going to get rid of things like moss and algae from the drive that the light rinse wouldn't get rid of. And so I think it's good to offer them both options, because some of these jobs can be a bit of a nightmare, and sometimes you don't know what you're walking into. And so when you look on Google Earth, the drive doesn't look like this. The drive looks brand new because it's an old image. So this time I offered 120 quid for a light rinse, and there were a couple of mortar stains left over, massive scratches in the drive. There's a couple of divots in the drive over here, so they've battered this drive. They've also left some big chunks out of the pavement at the front as well. Look at all these scratches, look. So I said the heavy rinse is not going to remove mortar stains, it's not going to remove any algae or moss, it's just going to remove the surface dirt. 120 quid, cleaned a little bit of the path as well. And that was all good, but what I didn't expect was this. I wasn't gonna pull these drains up at all. I was gonna rinse. I actually forgot that there was a drain at the bottom of the drive there. I was hoping to just rinse it into the road, scoop up a bit of muck, and then rinse it down the drain. But after I spotted this, I couldn't leave it like this. And then, of course, all the sand was in the gutter as well, so I had to properly clean all this out. Very annoying. Customer was watching my every move. They got cameras all around the house, and he was literally... He was a nice guy, but he was just like watching out the window. So I think the deep clean would have been about 180 quid on this drive, and the light rinse was 120 quid. What do we think about the pricing on that? Obviously, if I didn't have to lift the drains up and stuff, I think it would have been okay, but as it was, I spent a little bit of extra time doing that. No worries, Liam. Zach says, looking to start out, can you have a look at the Parker 4400 to start with within my budget? I think that's the one I started with, pretty much. You've got to be quite happy in the understanding that this machine is not going to last very long. So as long as you're happy with that. Which one is it? Where's the 4400? That one? Oh, it's a 15 litre per minute machine, isn't it, this one? 15 litre per minute flow rate, 4400. To be honest, mate, 700 quid. It will work and it will do a decent job. But it's going to be like just cheap Chinese parts. It's not going to last very long. If you spend a little bit more, when I say a little bit, to be fair, I don't think I bought my Equip to Clean one for 900 quid, to be fair. I don't know. You're still going to need a buffer tank with this because it's 15 litres per minute, so you're going to be spending more money on top of it. It's going to have very cheap fittings, very cheap lance, very cheap gun. my stuff keeps freezing. What's going on today? Does it say anything about... Does it say anything about commercial use? I don't think it does. So you've got to go into this knowing that it's a cheap machine and it probably will break at some point. How much was Darren's entry-level machine that he had out working yesterday? I think that one was about 1,300 quid, including the VAT. I can't remember. So it's like double the price. There are used machines for sale at PWS. He had a second-hand corner at Sausage Fest, and I think he sold everything from it, to be fair. There's a couple of machines in there as well. He sold them. Look, the advice I'd give you for this machine is, yes, it will work. Yes, it'll be nice and powerful, and it will do what you need it to do. I would say you'll probably get your money back within the first 3 to 5 jobs if you price them properly. However, even buying, I don't even know if I'd recommend that you buy a pressure washer this time of year, to be honest. I think the winter service, I think if you want to make money over the winter, you're better off buying a gutter vacuum first. Build up your experience and build up your customer base over the winter, and then get yourself, at that point you'll have a better budget to get a proper machine first time in like February, March time. You could even do your gutter clearing jobs for your customers over the winter and say, look, in March I'm going to be offering pressure washing. I can see your patio and your drive needs doing. Can I book you in for March? And by the time you've done a couple of gutter jobs over the winter, you might have 10 jobs lined up for March. You haven't even bought the equipment yet, but you know that investment is going to pay off. Get them in the calendar. Like take your notebook and book them in there and then, and say, okay, it's going to be 120 quid for the patio. It's going to be 250 quid for the driveway, and I can book you in for the 18th of March. Give them a price and a date there and then, so you know it's in the calendar. I wouldn't bother taking any deposits and stuff. Just say, look, it's my first year. I've not done anything like this before, but I'm getting a pressure washer in March and I'm going to start doing driveways and stuff. You do a good job on the gutters and they'll have you back, I promise. That's what I'd recommend. With the big window cleaning jobs, Jake, possibly future ones, why not set up a pump and controller and just fill your tank with pure water on big window cleaning jobs? Could do. Yep. Could do, couldn't I? It's just generally we're not taking on big window cleaning jobs if we're not pressure washing at the same time. So my tank is used for tap water for the pressure washer, and chances are I'll need the pressure washer that day. So ideally I'd have a separate tank, you know what I mean? Trying to get out of the motor trade. Going to start after the year around April, May time. I mean, gutter clearing is very lucrative. You can be in and out of a property in less than an hour, and you can earn, 100 to 150 quid. Some of the big ones, 200 plus quid. And the only thing you've spent money on is the vacuum and the poles. There's no more outlay with gutter vacuuming. Once you've got your equipment, you're good to go. I can't shift my old setup. The amount of equipment for sale at the moment is mind-blowing. Market's flooded. That's another point. You could have a look on Facebook Marketplace and get like a good used Honda. I'm not sure. I'm all for buying a small, cheap machine when you first start, but this is not a small, cheap machine. Sort of to dip your toes in the water to see if you like the work and to build up some work so that you can save for a bigger, proper machine. This is somewhere in the middle where it's not cheap and it's not proper, So it's sort of, I don't know. I don't think I could recommend something like this for someone starting out personally. You need to stick to the motor trade. Wayne, why would you say that, mate? It's a very odd thing to say. Seeing the short Darren put up, would any of the other could be worth trying, return to tank, etc. to keep the pump cool? Cars always need fixing. Yeah, I don't know if that's the advice that I would sort of promote. You know what I mean? We're all here because we presumably we do exterior cleaning, and we're here because we either want to learn or we enjoy it, or we're looking at ways of how we can improve the business and stuff. And for someone new to come in and ask for help, and then for you to say you need to stick to the motor trade, it's not very being realistic. That's all. Being realistic because you're quiet. Is that what you mean? It's been a weird year for a lot of people, but I think I don't know. This is the best thing I ever did. Being a part of the exterior cleaning industry was like the best decision I ever made, and so I wouldn't ever tell anyone to stick to a job that you're not enjoying. You know what I mean? It's just a weird move, personally. The way cars are going now, it's just a nightmare. The money's not good. Yeah, I mean, it's all like ultra sophisticated, like EVs and hybrids and stuff. And I can't imagine any of them are very easy to fix. And like the labour on some of these, I watch a lot of like things like Matt Armstrong and stuff. And just looking at the fixability of some of these cars is just getting to a point where it's ridiculous. I don't think big manufacturers want you to be able to fix their cars, by the sounds of things, and it's all going electric, and it's all a bit weird at the minute. I used to love working on my old Scimitar. Plenty of room in the engine bay. Super simple to replace stuff. Now, just to replace a coolant hose, you need to take like the whole engine out of a car. It's just crazy. You'll be an electrician fixing cars soon. Old school motor trade is dying off. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. We did this oil stain removal job the other day, and it's weird because it looked great once it dried, and then it gradually got worse. Have a look at this. So this was the oil stain. So the guy he had a new car from Audi, from like the actual dealership. It wasn't a brand new car, but new to him. And they got an apprentice to service it, I think. And it came back and leaked oil all over the drive because he hadn't fitted something properly. So this is wet, and what I'd say to anyone who's cleaning oil is it makes no difference how it looks when it's wet. Like, it doesn't matter that this looks like it's great. The true test is when it's dry, and I explained that to the customer. I said, look, we've done 3 treatments on it. We've pressure washed it. We need to see how it looks when it's dry. As long as you're sort of honest and open like that, you're not going to get a surprise when they text you a photo to say, oh, it still looks, I can still see the oil. It's like, so this is how it looked when it's dry. Decent, I think. I can still see a few areas where there's a bit of oil. Definitely. But, so this is the same day after it dried out. But then, after the weekend, like yesterday, I got a photo from the customer after I explained about the sanding this morning. Oh, this morning actually, I texted him and said, look, I wanted to resand it today, but it's going to be too damp. He's texted me this. It's back. I don't understand. That looks pretty much like it's cleared up apart from a bit of ghosting, but then what I think's happening, and what a couple of other lads in the chat mentioned in Discord, is that we got so much oil out of the sub base. Like I was really surprised at how much oil was pouring down the road. Like you could just see in the water. It was crazy. I think it's all in the sub base. It's all in the sand. And so I think these bricks have absorbed more of that oil from the sub base. And so now it looks oily again. So we clean them, and then they've just absorbed more. So I don't really know what to do about this other than pull up some of the blocks and like move them somewhere else a bit more inconspicuous. I mean, the driveway's knackered. He knows the driveway's knackered. Look at some of these blocks here. Looks terrible. I could try and reset some of these, but I'm going to be left with a big gap on the left then. On the right, sorry. It's just going to be a bit pointless. But I don't know what to do. I could try and get some heat on it. Maybe a little flamethrower. Any recommendations for that? Electric cars are not here to stay. It's a fad. That's not practical. Yeah, I totally agree with you. Unless China do something crazy with batteries. Unless we get massive capacity batteries, like a huge breakthrough in batteries. Which I keep seeing articles about massive breakthroughs in batteries and range and stuff. But it just never really comes to fruition. So I don't know. There's a huge crash coming. The uncontrollable spends by the government, etc. is crazy. People are keeping their cars longer, and it's best as the new stuff is absolutely garbage. Agree, electric cars are too expensive to repair once out of warranty. I watched a weird documentary about electric cars versus... I think the lad had an old Subaru. And he was just explaining like the waste with a lot of these unsold, massive car parks full of unsold electric cars and EVs and stuff, because no one actually wants them. And then like the weird thing is people started buying electric cars because they thought, oh great, really cheap to charge and I don't have to pay any tax. And now it's really expensive to charge. And you have to pay tax. Road tax. Just defeats the whole purpose of having an electric car, doesn't it? You buy an electric car because at some point it's going to start saving you money. And now it just doesn't seem like that's the thing. And it was like solar panels. I don't know if solar panels has gone the same way, but at one point solar panels were like a really good investment. Maybe they still are. Probably are, aren't they? Is it great to drive, not fun once they need repairs? I don't know if they are great to drive, electric cars. There's no emotion. There's no... I drove a new Audi electric. Like I think it was an A2 or something. I don't even know what the car was called. e-tron A2 or something. I don't know. It was just soulless. The interior just was nothing. It was just like... just nothing going on. No emotion in that car whatsoever. For the cleaning the oil stains, is it true that try burning as much off as possible is a good option? I think that'll be my next attempt, is to go in and get like a blowtorch on it and just see if I can evaporate some of that oil. I've seen other people using a torch on them, yeah. Steam is good as well, but I don't think steam would have done much to this. Don't you hate it when the blocks shift and leave big gaps in the driveway? Yeah, I would like to try and fix that, but it looks like you do that in 15 minutes, but once you move one, you always have to move way more than you expect. It's never just like a couple of blocks that need shifting. You end up shifting a few, and then you've got to do a whole row, and then you've got to take stuff out, and then the bottom of the blocks are dirty, so you get the drive dirty again. It turns into a bit of a nightmare. And I'd recommend avoiding anything like this if there's a tree next to it, and if the tree has caused the blocks to move, don't get involved, because it's going to be a whole system of roots underneath that you just won't be able to remove. You'll end up digging half the driveway up. Did you use Oil Clear Pro or Max Clean with the Synergy? Steam helps oil stains. I use Synergy, just Synergy. Brick turned into a sponge, it did. Pop a few out, Jake. Check underneath to see how bad they are. Yeah, I could do, couldn't I? I use CapCut Pro, $10.99, best software to use. Good to know. $10.99 for, is that just a one-off payment, or is that a month, or what? The value that EVs lose after 1 or 2 years is crazy. EVs make sense if you have solar and battery storage at home. Yeah. And if you only do short journeys, I suppose. If you lift the blocks up, I bet the sand is saturated. Simon, saturated with oil, you mean? Do you think it's worth... Oh, here's something I hadn't considered. Do you think it's worth lifting those blocks then? Digging the sand. Replacing the sand underneath. Cleaning the blocks. And then putting the blocks back in. Because you could like put these blocks in like a Synergy bath or something, couldn't you? You could put them in a big Gorilla bucket and give them like a Synergy bath. That could work. I don't know. Am I talking absolute nonsense? Solar's great. I also have that. EVs still use oils, etc., so they definitely aren't environmentally friendly as made out to be. Hearing many having motors go low mileage. Yeah, and like the batteries don't last forever. You've got to replace the batteries every, like, is it 10 years or something? Graphene is the new way to make car batteries. I've started to buy stocks in graphene companies and they are increasing in value. Just Google graphene. Oh, look at you. That seems like a very smart move. Graphene. Is it like a chemical compound? How can you buy stocks in a chemical compound? I guess companies that produce the compound. Single atom thick layer of carbon atoms, honeycomb pattern. A promising material for a wide range of applications. Batteries, sensors. Ah. There you go. Graphene, everyone. Don't take investment advice from me or anyone else on YouTube. Cat litter, yeah. Cat litter is not a bad idea either. The oil. Anyone thought about doing wheelie bin cleaning as a service? Liam, the only thing that's put me off wheelie bin cleaning, mate, is the regulations and the fact that you've got to keep that dirty water that you clean out of the bins and recycle it back through. You need like a proper system, and they're not cheap. You need like a proper van kitted out with all the filters and stuff, and it's not a cheap system. If you're caught pouring dirty water down the street from bins, like bin waste, which I've seen a lot of people do in my area, loads of bin cleaners I've seen just pouring bins out into the road after they've cleaned them. Massive fines apparently, so that's the only thing I'd say. And commercial bins, there's like a different, there's another thing that you need to commercially clean, like the big you know, the stuff you see outside the back of Aldi and stuff. You need I don't know if it's a license or something, but yeah, it's more complicated than it sounds. Could you flip the blocks over? I could flip the blocks over, but the issue with these is they've got a slight bevel on them, and they're probably going to be worse underneath, to be fair, but they'll have a slight bevel. and so it wouldn't look correct. Quick one, Jake. Are your new tyres commercially rated as looking at getting some tyre alloy combos at the moment? Commercially rated? Not sure what you mean. I think they are van tyres. I believe they're van tyres. The guy got them for me. I said I'm looking for some like chunky off-road tyres for my Sprinter, and he fits commercial tyres, so he would have known what he was doing, I would have thought. Try scrubbing in brake cleaner, then set it on fire. Really? I mean, you don't think brake cleaner would like stain the blocks or anything? Is brake cleaner safe on concrete? Run down with man flu, so going to get my head down, guys. Enjoy. Nice. I hope you start to feel better, mate. Sorry. Soph's been really ill this last couple of weeks. Since we come back from holiday, she's been coughing and spluttering non-stop. She's got like a chest infection now. Burn it, we do it with little... Burn it, we do it with like brakes and clutches when they've been contaminated and the customers are being cheap. Just boils the oil out. I might try burning it then. Have you got to get it really hot? Just trying to find some like winter chunkier tyres coming up trumps on some commercial ones. I think the commercial tyres are just based on weight, aren't they? Just how heavy your vehicle is. I would have thought anyway. Guys, I'm going to shoot off. Unless anyone's got any burning questions, any technical questions that they think I might be able to answer, any questions about quotes and stuff, give it another couple of minutes and then I'll probably shoot off. Please, if you haven't already, my new video is not doing well at all, which I knew would be the case when I was editing it. I knew it wasn't going to be for everyone. We did a big job at Dream Car giveaways, just a bit of a cladding clean, and it's a good video. It's just not for the masses, which is why it hasn't done particularly well. But I knew that when I was editing it, so it's not the end of the world. But if you've got a second, I'd appreciate some interaction with the video. If you could watch it all the way through and give it a like and drop a comment on the video, I'd appreciate it. Not to be that guy, but is it really worth burning it off? I was quoting an additional 400 quid on my policy to use a weed burner. Wouldn't be taking chances without it though. I'm not going to be telling... Additional 400 quid on my policy to use a weed burner. That's a very specific thing to add to your insurance policy. I wouldn't even think twice about that, to be honest, mate. You'll crack it if it's too hot. Just scrub the fluid in and give it a wipe and then burn. Okay, interesting. $10.99 per month for CapCut Pro. Loads of features in the paid version, but free once you get used to the basics of editing. Forgot to say, don't just go out buying stocks just because I said. Yeah, I don't know. That seems like a lot of money for me. 11 quid a month just for some editing software. You got to make sure you're getting that money back in your... I suppose if it's helping you generate leads and stuff, I suppose it's worth it. It's not all about ad revenue, is it? Okay. Thank you so much for your contributions and stuff. I will see you again next week. Have a good one. Hopefully with a better camera next week.